All right, I think we're live. Yes, we're live. I'm so used to hearing Rob's little shaker thing from long ago. I still listen for it. I don't hear it. So, welcome everyone to Masculine and Geek number 90. This is the live stream, or would have been the live stream D&D session number 10. So now this is the lost episode. This is this will be the rescheduled show. We had one of those before. So we had two people had to. Oh, here's Drew. We had two people had to bail. They had some things to do, no problems. So we'll reschedule sometime, probably in November. So this is just going to be a general discussion, kind of hanging out, kind of talking. And we do have a topic tonight, a few stories to relate. And as Rob had pointed out before the show started, since it is Halloween, we can tell horror stories, and in particular horror stories, traffic, particularly motorcycle and truck traffic horror stories. So without further ado, Rob, you want to lead us off, and then we'll segue into TJ, since TJ can only stay for so long.
Is that a leprechaun?
Well, when you had told me what the little bit you told me off air, it got me to thinking about all the bullshit that I see every day when I'm driving around in the big Tonka truck, as you called it, 40,000-pound truck. And I had an idiot today that was bullshitting on his phone because he had it over here. He was holding it like this so he could hear it, but it was probably speakerphone or whatever. But he's not paying attention, so he's got one hand on the wheel, one with the phone up by his ear. And
screenshot.
Yeah, no shit. And he's fucking turning around and he's like weaving in and out of his lane. And and I'm just sitting there trying to get around him in a 40,000-pound fucking truck that's weighted down because of all the bullshit that I had to shred. And one of the things I love to do to these assholes, whether they're dicking around texting at a stoplight or they're talking like this asshole on the phone or whatever it is, I have an air horn that I use liberally. And so, as this guy's starting to weave into me, it's just like, dude, you keep coming over, you're going to be eating paint here in a second. And I just hit the horn and just stayed right in my lane. And, he about shit his pants and about went over into the other lane, which is the only reason that it's like, maybe you ought to lay off the air horn once in a while. But the air horn wakes everybody up because I've used it more times than not, sitting, behind some dipshit who's texting and the light changes and my truck takes a second to get up to speed. It's not like a car or a motorcycle where you're 0 to 60 in 3 seconds type of thing. My truck takes a second. So if it's a short light, I could literally miss it in the time it takes you to stop fucking around texting and go. So I'll give them to the count of 2. It'll be like 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000. Nope. Wah! There's the fucking horn and wakes them up and away they go. And it's good times, man. I'll tell you, it takes so much stress and anger out of me, and it lowers my blood pressure so fucking much when I hit the air horn on these guys.
That's fucking awesome. I was going to say that's probably a great stress reliever.
It is. It really is. But to relate a couple of motorcycle stories, I got a couple short ones here for you. This last season, if you want to call it one, with the Rona and whatnot, I didn't ride nearly as much as I wanted to. So this season, there really wasn't anything to report. But like last year, the year before, and the last decade or so, it's like, dude, I got stories of animals running out in the road, like deer, having a deer hit me in the side of the fucking motorcycle as I'm going down the road. I've had, run over dogs, cats, they're like speed bumps, both of them. It'll send you for a jolt. But I think one of my most, other than the deer one, that was my most harrowing one. But as far as people goes, since Vince, I know yours is a person-related one. The one that I remember the most that involved dipshits on the road was me and the ex-wife. She had a motorcycle too, so we're both riding together, riding kind of tandem. She was a little bit ahead of me, and this car decides to make a left turn right in front of us. And the ex-wife slowed down enough, because she was relatively new at the time. And so she started dropping her speed immensely very quickly. So she just kind of slowed down. Well, part of it was my fault because I was probably going a little faster than I should have been. But I did not anticipate this dipshit turning in front of me. And as he did, I realized it, and the dipshit realized it as well, that if he'd just kind of kept going, it would have probably been okay. But he kind of paused, he hesitated. So he's, instead of going or instead of staying, he's kind of like literally right in front of me. And I'm sitting there, downshifting and jamming on the brakes, and that back end of that motorcycle starts doing this. Starts the fucking shimmy. Yeah, I started fishtailing right in front of this guy. And I'm looking at him like, are you going to fucking go or what? Because otherwise I'm probably going to end up laying it down on its side and probably end up right at his grill anyway. Well, the son of a bitch decided to hit the gas, and he got through the light, and I was able to upshift a gear and get grip on that back tire again because, the center of gravity shifted back to the back. And I was able to shoot through, and I probably missed his ass end by about, I don't know, less than 3 or 4 inches.
Heart fucking pounding, palms sweating.
Dude, I'll tell you what. And, and the ex-wife wanted to pipe up her 2 cents at that time. And I'm like, not a fucking word out of you. You shut up.
Oh, my God. Was she about to backseat? Can you backseat drive somebody who is on a motorcycle?
I don't know if you can, but my ex-wife sure as hell tried.
She perfected that shit.
She was going to go for it.
Well, because the one last story I'm going to say, and it's not a horror story because it was fun, but the ex-wife wanted to backseat motorcycle drive me on that one too, was we used to have a motorcycle group. We had a bunch of people that would ride with us. And we always made it a point that the sweep motorcycle, the last motorcycle in the group, would always stop with anybody who pulled over for whatever reason. Okay, so, you had shit happen, your bike had an issue, whatever. This guy at the rear would stop with you, make sure everything was okay, and get you back on the road, and away you guys would go. Well, I remember this one time, we were out in Nevada, riding back. We were on our way to Wendover. We'd been out in Elko. And I was at the lead of the pack. I was leading the group, and our next stop was going to be in Wendover. We were going to stop there, gas up, get a bite to eat, and then head back to Salt Lake. Well, dumbass me, I had left my saddlebag unbuckled. So my left saddlebag flap is doing this thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not paying attention to it. I'm just zipping down the road happy as a clam. Well, my ex-wife kind of rolls up next to me and starts pointing at my saddlebag. And I look down and, oh, shit, okay. And I just kind of signal her to take over the group and push on. It's like, I know where you guys are going. I know where you're going to stop. So I'm going to pull over and, buckle up my bag and get back on the road. So everybody else takes off. I pull over. Well, of course, one of my buddies, the sweep bike, the last bike, he pulls up next to me, and I even kind of like signal him like, you can go, dude. Don't worry about me. I'm good. But he's like, nah. He pulls over. So, I buckle up. We bullshit for a second. And then we get back on the road, and we're tooling along doing, about, 75, 80. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, because that's roughly the speed limit in that area. And I'm thinking, we're not going to catch these guys because they got about a 2, maybe 3 minute head start on me. Okay. And they're all doing about 80. So it's like, we're not going to catch them. We'll catch them in Wendover. So we're kind of tooling along. Well, then my buddy turns to me and I look at him. So we're riding side by side. I look over, he looks over, and I'm like, let's catch them and fucking hit it. Open that throttle up and away we go. Okay, well, at about 107, 108, the road became nothing but a blur, and even my bike, my Honda, was kind of making this weird hum. And so I was like, time to focus on the road. I can't be looking down at my speedometer. I can't be, basically we're dancing slow dance with death now. So I got to stay, very focused on the road. So we're just flying, and I'm still opening the throttle up. I have no idea how fast I got up to till much later. Okay, my buddy, I can see him hand gesturing and pointing at his speedometer a couple of times out of the corner of my eye, and I'm just like, nope, I'm focusing on the road. Because we're getting up into insane speeds here. Well, the next thing I know, here's the pack, and it's like, oh, we're coming up on them. We're gonna catch the fuckers.
Nice.
Well, we do, and not only do we catch them, we blow past them.
Oh shit! You're like, see ya.
Yeah, because I was like, I misjudged the speed on that. And so we blow right by them. We blow the doors off the pack.
You just want to like go back in time and shit.
Yeah, we were pretty much doing that. We were doing the DeLorean thing. It was great. Okay, well, of course, we slow down as we blow past them, and and they catch up to us. And the guy that was with me, he falls back to the rear to pick up the sweep, and away we go. And we get into Wendover about 2-3 minutes later. Pull into the gas station. So, turn off the bikes, take off the helmet, start fueling up the bikes. And I'm not thinking nothing of it. Well, here comes the ex-wife. And this is how I know to talk to James here, that yes, you can fucking backseat drive from a motorcycle. Because my ex-wife comes up and she's doing this shit. And I'm like, what's your problem? And she's like, you were going, and I'm like, lady, woman, shut up. It's like, I'm fine. We didn't get in a wreck. We didn't get pulled over. Just fucking chill. And so top off the bike. She walks off in a huff to go fucking deal with her bike. Well, then my buddy comes up, the guy that had been riding with me, and he's like, dude, do you know how fast we were fucking going? And I'm like, no, dude, I was too busy focusing on the road. How fast were we going? He's like 117. And I'm like, that's pretty good. And I still had throttle. I still had play.
You're still a little bit left, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I wasn't totally throttled out.
I'm like, wow.
I'll bet you that bike, I could probably still get that bike up to probably about 125 is what I figure is where it's about there, that it's going to be pretty much top end on that motorcycle, given that it's a 750. Okay. Yeah. So I was like, I'm impressed. And he's like, yeah, dude. And I'm like, dude, don't tell my ex-wife that. Don't tell her that, because fuck, I'll never hear the end of it. She has no idea how fast we were going.
We were going.
She just figured we were going faster. Yeah, we were just going faster.
In the book of grudges.
That's right. One more that you don't need.
Right. So, yeah, I didn't need that headache. So to this day, she has no idea that unless she's, cyber stalking me and listening in right now, where then I can say, honey, we were doing 117 miles an hour when we blew past you guys.
Nice.
So there's my stories.
That's pretty exhilarating, actually. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before we continue with harrowing stories, Amos is spurging out in the chat, and I want to give him some relief. So Amos has a question, and I'm going to pose this to Drew, because we've already talked. I have your okay. So sometime in December. Are you good for a Saturday in December?
Absolutely.
All right. So Amos, I know it's kind of vague, but sometime in December on a Saturday around 3-4 o'clock, we're going to have the one-off D&D game.
Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard. So I'm not sure whether we should go with pre-gens or should we make our characters. Drew, what do you think?
Shit, making the characters is half the fun.
I agree. But at the same time, I don't want everyone to go through an entire process and then, it's just a one shot. Unless they keep the character and we do one shots here and there. What do you think?
I'd say that, yeah, because coming up with a character again is a big part of the enjoyment of the process.
Oh, I completely agree.
We'll kind of decide on a sort of a theme together, and then I'll come up with a one shot that fits the theme. And you guys can come up with characters that kind of mesh.
All right, cool. So there you go, Amos. How's that? Does that satisfy your burning curiosity? I hope so. I know I've been promising you guys that, and time is of the essence. Got a lot of shit going on. All right, so TJ, I know you have to leave soon, so you are on deck.
All right. So you want me to talk about my horror stories having to do with motorcycles?
Or cars if you want, but particularly motorcycles now because you are riding, obviously.
Right. Well, I would say cars seem to follow you like they want to tailgate you like you're a Super Bowl stadium.
Yep.
And I almost want to pull a Mario Kart and like have banana peels in my pocket and just like drop them behind
Drop
me.
them over the side.
Ball bearings.
Ball bearings.
Put on their
Right.
windshield.
Yeah, like caltrips or some shit.
Yeah,
Ball bearings are great.
One guy told me he always carries pennies in his pocket. So
That
whenever
works
people going
too.
too fast, he just like if he's usually going pretty fast, like he's on the highway going 60, 70 miles per hour. But the other thing is I've been trying to do more country, riding, and there's not always a meridian on the roads. So when I go around some of these turns, I got to be basically going.
Oh, you mean a median?
Yeah, not meridian, a medium. My bad.
Okay, I was wondering what you're saying.
I have to be going like 10 miles per hour and on the very, very edge because these cars will come zipping around the corner and they'll be in the middle of the road.
Mm-hmm.
The other day I was riding my motorcycle and we're not going too fast because there's a ton of cars on this state highway. It's a 1 lane both ways, so 2 lane highway. And this car is taking a right turn or something like that, so it's slowing down. So we're all slowing down. And ever since when I'm in a motorcycle, I'm always looking at my rear view mirrors, and I see the car behind me is not slowing down. And then I can tell that they were looking at their phone or whatever because they looked up the last minute and stopped. Stomped on their brakes.
Oh shit!
And so that's me. Those are people I always tag them. For when we get into it, where there's 2 lanes, there's a left and right lane. I immediately get into the right lane and let them go around me. You don't want to be in the left lane because they will. I see this to this day. I was driving over to a local city. I'm in my SUV. I'm in the right lane. I'm going a very respectable speed. Not going to say how fast I was going, but I wasn't going slow. I had somebody tailgating me in the right lane, and the left lane was completely open. We were the only cars on the road. It's just weird. People are just weird. Now I'm trying to think of another horror. There's a lot of deer around my area, so you got to watch out for that. Oh, I was going on I was going down a country road, and it's got a lot of. It's like going on a roller coaster ride. Well, I come around a corner. And this is right after a windstorm, and there was like branches and trees all over the road. So, and I had a car behind me, so I had to like do this quick maneuver around the branch and kind of slow down, hoping that there was this car not going to come around the corner, right? Because that's what the kind of a turn it was. The best was when I had a bicyclist in front of me, and I could not go around them because there wasn't enough room for me to. I would have to go into the opposite lane, and there was never more than 50 feet, 25, 30 feet of visibility on the other lane. So anytime I could have gone in, a car could come around the corner and just smack right into me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'd say. Horror stories. I think most of them is just where you're going really, really fast, and you still have these cars that are tailgating you so closely that if you have to slow down for any reason, they're going to hit you. And there's nothing you can do about it other than the Mario Kart trick, where you're throwing pennies behind you. That's about all you can do.
That's pretty fun. I've never done that, throwing pennies out the window.
I mean, we probably should because we're both in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And we have to deal with those people. I mean,
the density of cars in New Jersey.
Oh my God,
is out fucking rageous. Let me just answer a few questions very quickly in the chat. Yes, Red, the game is canceled. The reason why it still says D&D stream, StreamYard will not allow me to edit it once I create it. So I'm not too worried about it because most people, when they come into and they watch, they'll figure it out. I'll go back later and change the title to this broadcast, so no worries. So yes, you have most of the D&D players here. We've had a few cancellations, no big deal. We'll reschedule, not a problem. So stay tuned. Yes. How about you, Drew? Any kind of weird, fucked up, like horror stories on the road?
Oh, geez. A lot. I was dating these two girls
at the same time.
And they were a couple, and I was kind of like the third.
Oh, okay.
In the thing, and they were having some argument over something, and so the one called, and I went and I picked her up and stopped at a gas station. Pull out of the gas station, didn't even have my seatbelt on. Driving down the highway, and some drunk asshole that had just been parked on the side in a forest green minivan. So it's at night, couldn't even see him. At that moment, decided that he was going to turn and cross the highway to go in the other direction and pull like right out in front of me. And I was thinking about this when Rob was talking about his thing, because there is no adrenaline rush like the seconds after you realize you are about to be in a car accident.
It's invigorating, actually.
If you don't actually get hurt too badly, it's like, holy shit. It's like just getting off a really fucked up roller coaster. But we ended up, and I was in what the hell was a Ford Aspire at the time. It's way, way back. Tiny little piece of shit. And just nothing I could do. I tried to turn, but bam. And we went spinning off. She ended up in the ER. I didn't have my seatbelt on yet. I slammed my head into the glass, and then got slammed back by the bag. But anyway, I was thinking about that. But there's so many things. And the cyclist, I actually had to choke slam a cyclist into a tree once.
Jesus Christ.
I hate these assholes. Have no fucking. The road is for cars. If you're on foot,
Correct.
Or if you're on a bicycle, not a motorized vehicle, you stay off the road. If there is no lane specifically for bicycles, you get off the road. You take your silly fucking spandex and your goofy hat, and you get the fuck out of the way. We were going to, actually, this is way, way back. I had my son in the car, and we were going to this grocery store. We're coming through the parking lot, and one of these assholes runs a stop sign, flies right in front of me, and then I honk the horn, and this stupid asshole flips me off. I can't remember what I said. I wound down the window. I flipped him. I was telling him to go fuck himself or something of that. And he said something. I don't remember what it was. Old man. And I'm like, what the fuck?
That's a curse word. That's a curse word.
I'm prematurely gray. I'm not even gray.
Prematurely gray, you fucker.
I'm not fat. I'm just big boned.
But so I'm like, okay, fuck this guy. I was so pissed off, and I wouldn't do it now because I'm a little bit calmer sometimes. But I park, and I get out of the car, and I start walking. I see him on the bike still, and he leans his bike up against one of the fucking cars in the parking lot. And he starts coming towards me, and again, it's the exchange. There's a tree. One of these little, I don't know what the fuck they call it, in the parking lot where they sometimes have a little area with grass and tree. So I start slowing down and kind of angling so that I'm walking to where when he gets close to me, he's going to be between me and the tree.
It's in the perfect spot.
Fucker didn't even realize
he lined himself
what
up.
He was being set up for.
Yeah.
And he's a little taller than me, which is perfect. Because when you're coming up from underneath, you've got all of your legs and body to put into it.
Yep. Power thrust there.
So I do a quick check because you want to make sure nobody's watching that might interfere.
You don't want anybody to ruin your fun.
And there was a fire truck, and there were a couple of firemen. They were like back in the other end of the parking lot. They didn't seem to be paying attention. But as soon as he was close enough, I just jumped forward and I grabbed him by the throat and just slammed him into the tree as hard as I could. Just bam. And then I tried to calm myself down and explain to him the error of his ways. And basically told him,
Christ.
you are an absolute fucking idiot. First off, for driving through the stop, there was a fucking stop sign. There was a lane through this parking lot where they had the stop sign.
Bicyclists don't realize that they have to obey traffic laws.
Yeah, well, I fucking hate cyclists in general, so this just made it worse. And second, you don't talk shit to people because you have absolutely no idea who they might be and what they might be able to do.
Finding that out.
I told him, I said, I'm going to let you go, and you're going to walk the fuck out of here. And I'm going to go back to my car, and then we're cool. Because I was thinking, I got to calm myself down. Can't do this. And I let off. And as soon as I let off, he starts doing this thing where he pulls his hand back. And I'm like, oh, no. And I did it again as soon as I could. And this time, I fucking slammed him, and I started squeezing.
Nice.
And I said, we're going to try this one more time. I'm going to let go, and you're going to walk back over to your bike, and I'm going to go that way. And now the fucking fire people are starting to walk over, so I'm thinking, oh, fuck. Because if you make me do this a third time, I'm not letting go until you're out. And so he's like, okay. So finally, and I'm getting fucking just thinking about, I hate these people so much. So I did let him go. And then he's kind of like, all right, back up a little bit. And I wait until he starts walking off. I turn to look, and the fire guys are just kind of now leaning against the side of the truck, just kind of watching what's going on. But
they probably knew
to every single one of them because they piss me off so much, especially when you've got this big fucking group of them. And instead of getting off the side of the road, out of traffic, out of people's way, they form up in these masses where they get 2 or 3 of them, like this big parade of fucking neon spandex and their little foam hats and all that shit. And I just think, just want to have a big semi and just plow right. If you're a cyclist, if that's what you like to do, that's wonderful. But don't do it in a way that interferes with other people that are trying to use the road for driving, which is where get the fuck off the road. Stay in the bicycle lane. If there isn't a bicycle lane, get on the sidewalk. If there isn't a sidewalk, well, don't go there. Go on a trail. Go somewhere else. It's just they piss me off. I fucking hate them so much.
No, I agree. I'm sure nobody in the chat is a huge douche like that.
Because they're endangering other people on the road is a problem.
Yeah,
if you're trying to be polite and you pass them and stuff like that, there could be oncoming traffic. Now you have to make the choice between running over some cyclists and doing some good in the world, or being polite to the cyclist and accidentally ramming some poor family.
Well, running over the cyclist might be doing some good because it'll stop them from interfering with the traffic with everybody else. If you have
doing some good in the world,
if you got a vehicle that can keep up with the flow of traffic, go for it. If you're on a bicycle, you don't belong on a road. You belong in the bike lane or on the sidewalk. And same for idiots on fucking mopeds that try to go on the highway.
Oh, yeah.
If
the moped fuckers,
35 miles per hour, you don't get to go on the highway. That's just, you just can't.
That actually says that on a lot of the bridges and major highways here in New Jersey. No moped, pedestrians, mopeds, and horses.
Yeah,
because apparently there's assholes on horses that want to be on the goddamn major highway.
Oh yeah, if you're an asshole, it doesn't
be me.
James on the horse.
On roads for a certain amount of time or a certain distance with those shoes, aren't they? They should be on softer ground.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ride horses. I don't know shit about that, but I would imagine
asphalt's not good.
But thanks to the shoes, it keeps them. It's better but it's like walking on rocks on your bare feet. You don't want to. You're going to be fine, but you don't want to make a habit out of it.
No,
Yeah. After a while,
Gentlemen,
that'll
I
probably
got to
hurt.
head out. It was good chatting.
All right, TJ.
It's nice seeing you, brother.
See you guys
Catch you
around.
later.
Bye, TJ.
Jesus Christ. Awesome.
Driving a killdozer on the highway. That's probably.
that's what we need. In fact, that would actually make for a great short film. You got a city like Seattle, which is plagued with asshole cyclists, and they're constantly interrupting traffic. And finally, some guy ends up missing an important meeting, losing a big, a contract or something because he was late because of these assholes. And that was the final straw. So he gets in his sort of killdozer-esque thing and just goes on a rampage through the city, mowing down all of these assholes. But to be able to make the guy like a sympathetic hero, I think you'd have to start the film by showing just a big montage of cyclists doing asshole
People
cycling things.
people being complete shitheads.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's very important.
You have to set the
Right.
stage.
You could almost do it with found footage. But I think most people, other
Probably.
than the douchey cyclists, would probably enjoy that sort of thing.
I
Well,
would.
yeah, this could be like a GTA, except you're just mowing down asshole cyclists.
What we'll do is we'll
I
hit
like
up
it.
Cameron Pasha, and
There you
I'll
go.
I'll pitch the opener to him, and I'll say, "This summer,
There you
one
go.
man has had enough and repurposes a backhoe
Drew Bay.
to clean the streets of filth." And we'll lead off from there.
That
There
would
you
be
go.
perfect.
Drew Bay
I-
starring in Cyclist.
I think Cameron would be able to write the script for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Oh shit, that'd be
Cool.
good.
That could
Oh,
be
yeah.
our one shot.
Hey, I like it. We'll just do it. We'll kind of like turn into a medieval version of that.
Or he
For
could
D-
play
for
what
D&D.
is it, Car Wars. I'd have to hit
Car
up Jeff.
Wars. We can even do Star Frontiers.
Twisted
What would be
Metal.
the medieval asshole version of douchey cyclists?
There you go.
Mimes
Mimes. A theater
Mime.
troupe. Some kind of weird theater troupe.
on Eunice. There you go. Theater
The
troupe.
theater troupe is just like completely horrible.
Solo
Just
chariots.
mimes.
Solo
Yeah, that would be
chariots
better.
and wagons.
There you go.
I
That'll
thought
work.
those would work.
So Vince, tell us your story of near death.
So yes, today I had after work, I had a short motorcycle ride. Now this is going to coincide with what Drew was saying about the adrenaline rush and feeling invigorated after coming very close to dying. And this is the fourth time it's happened. I have eyes in the back of my head, which is why I saved myself. So there's you may recognize this, James, on Lenola Road in Morristown, the Maple Shade area. If you're coming past PJ's and you're on the curve and you're coming down the hill towards the light on 38 where the Morristown Mall is,
Okay.
there's 3 lanes. The right lane, which is typical, you go straight and you make a right. The 2 left lanes are designated making a left. So
Right.
I need to be on the middle left-hand turn lane for what I need to do. And I should know better.
Because
But-
you have to make a right afterwards, I'm assuming.
Exactly.
Okay.
Not too far down the road, half a mile.
Yeah.
So I need to learn from this sort of mistake on my part. However, having said that, on the left is a line of cars. They're going to make their left. Somewhere in time, maybe 2-3 years ago, the highway people decided that they were going to put dashes for left-hand turns to designate, hey, assholes, stay in your turn lane and don't be in the left lane. And when you turn, come across, like halfway through your left turn, come across and just
Right,
Because
jump
what
into the right lane, basically.
exactly. Because what a lot of people do is they come to the light, they realize, oh, shit, I'm a dumbass. I'm in the wrong lane because I want to get over to the Morristown Mall and I need to make an immediate fucking right turn. So I'm going to ignore everyone who's following directions and doing what's right. And I'm going to fucking cut everybody off, and it's your fault for that. That's not too bad if you're in a car. If you're in a motorcycle, you can get killed. So that's exactly what this woman on the left-hand side did, not paying attention. Fucking just, I saw this. I'm like, fuck. And I jam my brakes on, and she comes right across my 12. Son of a bitch. And I have to say this. The 4 times I had a brush with death, all women. Ladies, I love you. Absolutely love you. Driving, you fucking suck. Get your shit together. Fuck.
Raise
We
the
repeal the 19th.
Well, I'm gonna go that far, but at least get your driving in order. And let me say this further: stay, and it actually needs to be said, stay off your phone. Stay off your phone.
We see people weaving, and almost every single time they got a phone in their face.
Exactly. Yes.
I'll lay on the horn. Like if you're talking to somebody, you go fuck yourself. You know, you just.
The problem is, horns on motorcycle. The default factory built horn on a motorcycle is the gayest fucking noise. It does, and you can't hear it. It does absolutely nothing.
The sound of coffee being stirred with chopsticks?
It might be close to it. I don't know, but it's real tinny sounding and high pitched, and it does nothing. You can't hear it. So I think what I want to do is have at least a 1 trumpet air horn built in. So, and that'll be fun just to blast off just for shits and giggles. But in this instance, this will wake people up.
It also would have been useful.
It would have been useful, productive and useful. And this way, when I am making a left and I have to be in a certain lane, and I know, these assholes probably are going to cut me off. As I make my turn, I can lay into that fucking horn and pretty much announce my presence. So.
That's the thing that sucks about near misses is you have to make the choice about whether or not you track that person down. And
there's that. I'm not going to waste. That's right, Nick August. Air horn.
Exactly.
Air
so
horn.
Tempting. And this was a very long time ago, and I'm sure statute of limitations is way, way past. When I was much younger,
pardon me,
we would often go after people for shit like that, just because once we were at a friend's house, we were in their yard, and some assholes drove by and they threw firecrackers.
Oh shit.
At us. We didn't know what the hell it was. We just heard the noises turn. They were going there laughing. We got in the car. We chased them all over the place. We probably chased them for about 20, 30 minutes before they pulled into a police parking lot. And they thought that they were going to be okay there. Well, the police parking lot surely had cameras, but there was nobody else in the parking lot. This was late. And we got them parked in, and we threatened them. Made them give us all the money that they had to cover the gas that we wasted chasing them around. And we weren't going to pull them out of their car right there and beat the shit out of them. Because, again, we were on camera in the Kaukauna Police Department. This is way the hell back. Again, this is probably like 1990, 1991, so nothing they can do about now. I would imagine it wasn't what would have been? They donated gas money. We'll call it that. But
they recompensated you for the issue.
Yeah, a friend of mine once we had a chain that was in the back of one of our friend's cars, wound down the window because these douchebags were fucking with us on the road, and we pulled up alongside of him, and he took the chain and just swung this thing out the window and started smashing their windows. And fucking up their car. And there were a couple occasions where if we could get to somebody at a stoplight or a red light, we'd go up and we'd just start beating the shit out of them if they had the windows down. It was again.
Those were the days.
You know what? I know in retrospect, that's not how you're supposed to be handling things. But honestly, I miss the days. I miss being underage where you could go and beat the shit out of people for mouthing off. You could beat the living shit out of people. It's
very liberating.
It's an educational beat down. There are some people who need
an EBD
to be taught a lesson.
Yeah.
There are certain behaviors that aren't acceptable. There are certain things that if you do them to the wrong people, you should get your ass kicked. And unfortunately, if I tried that now, I would probably end up in jail. Actually, some douchebag, I can't remember, some stupid fucking yuppie douchebag, I can't remember what it was trying to speed up and cut in front when I was leaving another grocery store parking lot. Not the most exciting places. And I can't remember. He didn't have the right of way or something. Oh, fuck you guys. I'm here. And then he actually came up around me. Now we're going down. It's 2 lanes, one in each direction. He actually came up around me into, there was no oncoming traffic, the other lane, and actually tried to pull out and block the road. And again, stupid, yuppie looking douchebag. And he starts talking all this shit. And I'm thinking, you have no fucking idea. And I wound down the window and I said, you don't want to go to the hospital and I don't want to go to jail. Fuck off.
Fair enough.
And I just waited and he yelled and yelled and yelled and yelled. And I'm just sitting there like thinking, okay, are you going to keep talking or are you going to get out and do something? He kept yelling. And finally he just, took off. But what I would have liked to have done is walk up and beat the living shit out of him. People like that only behave that way because they expect that most people won't beat the shit out of them.
Well, that's it. That's completely.
It's not like the police are going to do anything about it. You call police about road rage or anything like that. They never.
No, it's not their.
They never
their job to do that. Yeah.
But yeah, just stupid fucking people running their mouths that really, there's so many people that deserve to get their asses kicked badly.
Agreed. I know Sass has had a lot of run-ins with vehicles while he's been out on his motorcycle. It's insane. How about you, James? I know you're not riding yet, but you have a car story, don't you?
I have. So before we started, I said that I had one, and then I remembered another one in which I was not driving.
All right.
Which is even better.
Well, tell the better one first.
Tell the better one first.
Tell the better one first. Yeah,
okay.
Let's start off with that.
So we are on our way. I'm with my D&D group, and one of our buddies, his parents have a house down in North Carolina, down Topsail Beach. And we're going to go down there and we're going to spend a week there, hang out, play some games, go on the beach, go swimming, and we're going on vacation. That's great. We're down somewhere in Virginia, and we unfortunately did not miss. We hit rush hour traffic. And we get to that point where all the people who are moving off to go to DC or whatever, actually, we might have been in Maryland. I can't remember the exact location. I think, yeah, it was rush hour was in Maryland, and at some point we sort of escaped that, and everybody was speeding up, and now we're in Virginia. We're somewhere in Virginia, and we're in the far left lane. So we're in the location where people know that they are not getting off an exit anytime soon. And this is the place where you go fast or you leave the lane. You go fast or you leave the lane. And you don't mix those two up. So what happened was we were in a 3-car train. My buddy Chris is there with a couple of our group, and he's in the front. And then we have my buddy Gio and Matt, who are in the center of the group. And then we have myself and Dennis. My buddy Dennis is driving all the way in the back of the group in a very large truck, which is, in retrospect, probably overloaded with cargo. So stopping is difficult for us.
Mm-hmm.
Our lead car comes across the car in front of him, who has come across an exit that he needs to leave on, did not think to go into even the center lane, which stops. Far left lane, everybody's going 80, and he stops. Now my buddy Chris, perfect reaction, slams on the brakes, turns to the left a little bit, lets go of the brakes, slams on the brakes again, and he's in the grass. My buddy Gio follows suit, just barely missing Chris, stopping short of Chris, actually, specifically, because he didn't fully miss him. My buddy Dennis, who is driving the vehicle that I'm in, I'm riding shotgun, slams on the brakes, and we keep moving. And I can feel all the stuff behind us in the bed of his truck.
Shift forward.
Line forward.
Yeah.
And we hit my buddy Gio. We just barely give him a love tap. And we bounce off. So now we are stopped on the left side of the road. I'm going to point out, we did have a car trailing us, but it was quite a distance back because it was not going as fast as us. It was going like 60 or 50. My buddy Dennis and I look at each other and we're like, huh, that wasn't so bad. And then we hear the screech of brakes.
Oh, shit.
And we are both rock
Domino effect.
laid over the dashboard. We hit my buddy
Shit.
Gio again. My buddy Gio's car hits my buddy's Chris's.
Boom, boom, boom.
And Chris manages to miss the car that caused all
shit.
this to begin with by stopping, which I am told immediately pulled away.
Oh, a hit and run. Nice.
Yep, basically a hit and run because he didn't get scratched, so he didn't have to worry about it. The the frame of the truck that I was in was bent at the halfway mark. We were both thrown over the dashboard. The airbag exploded and blew a fuse in the horn. So it kept going. And my buddy, I went deafer than I usually am because of the airbag exploding and the windows were closed and stuff like that. And we both looked at each other, and I thought he said train wreck. What he actually said was train ride, because I mentioned taking the train down rather than driving for this exact reason. Because there's retards on the road, don't you know?
Well, yeah, don't we know it?
And then we both look at each other. He is like grabbing the airbag, and every time he lifts it, the horn stops going off, and then he puts it back down. The horn keeps going back on, and he repeats this process a couple of times. And then when he lifts it up again, the horn is still going on, and we're like, well, fuck. And we both look at each other. I think we teased each other with the possibility of just like laying ourselves out on the dashboard and just staying there for a moment.
Oh, and pretend you're like completely fucking dead.
Because all of our friends apparently were looking behind us. They told us this afterwards and like, oh shit, they're dead. That's how bad the crash was. Luckily, we fared better than the people behind us. There was some kind of Suburban, which hit us going roughly 60 miles an hour. Not fucking paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
We thought it was the guy who came out to ran up to help us out and talk with us and stuff like that. No, he was the husband of the person who was driving, of the she who was driving, who was not paying attention and rammed us going 50 to 60 miles an hour and completely destroyed the front of her car. Didn't even make an attempt to miss. Barely, like I said, we heard it at the last 2 seconds. Just the last 2 seconds of the brakes going off. And yeah, that was fun. That was a fun start to our vacation.
Yeah, it was.
Wow. How the fuck can somebody be that inattentive and not see all that shit going on in front of them?
Not just one person, two people, because we had one person who wasn't paying attention to the lane that they were supposed to go in and decided to stop in the far left lane. Yeah. And then behind us, we had another inattentive person who decided to slam us going 50 to 60 miles an hour. Could have killed somebody.
Yeah, there was an accident.
We rolled snake eyes.
Yeah, seriously. You may have heard about this, James. It was on 73 in Pensacola, Cinnaminson border about 5 or 6 years ago. It was in the morning rush hour commute. There was a line of traffic, and there was probably a truck that very similar to what Rob drives, a big dump type truck, in the front of this one guy who pulls up. He was probably a little too close than he should have been, but I guess, given what came up behind him, it wouldn't have mattered. Another dump truck was not paying attention and slammed into him and crushed him accordion-wise in between the two trucks and just instantly fucking killed him.
Yeah,
just completely.
Not only
poor guy going to work in the morning and gets fucking smashed in between two trucks.
Yeah. No. I was going to high school at that. I was finishing up high school at that time, and I not only do I remember, having to take a detour over that because
Yeah.
I went to school. I went to a private school in Cherry Hill.
Okay.
My buddy is an EMT, and I
You
remember
probably
him
heard
telling
about
me
that.
about
Then.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was Jesus.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
My dad, but I didn't take a lot of lessons from my dad, but the one that kind of stuck with me was if you were driving a vehicle, it is a 3,000-pound weapon. It is a missile that you were in
Yeah.
control of.
Absolutely.
And that was the one thing that I didn't have an argument on. It was like, yep.
Yeah, I've
Because he had seen enough accidents.
Have you ever seen a pedestrian hit by a speeding vehicle, or just somebody just walking across the street?
They just explode.
Yeah.
Well, this one went flying and then hit the ground at a fucked up angle, and she was a mess. High school, hanging out on College Avenue in Appleton, Wisconsin, and there's this corner, and this woman was crossing the road. And as far as we know, she had the green. She's going to be able to cross. She was walking across, and this pickup truck came flying around, left turn, and hit her, and she just went through the air, and then bam, came down, crumpled, and pickup truck just kept going. Fortunately, there's people all up and down this street. They were able to get the license plate, but the people got busted later on. I don't know what happened to her, but she must have been fucked up pretty badly because she was airborne.
If she lived.
Yeah, seriously. I'm gonna say it's
if she did live, she's probably pretty badly fucked up. But
Yeah, paralyzed or something like that. It's you. Sometimes you get lucky where your body doesn't do the thing where it tenses up.
yeah.
Because if you don't know it's coming, or unfortunately, if you're drunk.
Yeah.
If you're drunk, your body also won't tense up, and you have some advantages not dying.
Exactly. There was a state cop that happened to recently. He was hit by a car going about 90, 95 miles an hour and just pulverized him. They were finding his teeth on the side of the road for, when they were searching for the pieces of his body. It's just.
There was
insane.
a guy that got, you talked about people stopping in front of bikes and stuff. There was a guy who got paralyzed. He was driving, and some stupid woman slammed on her brakes in front of it for some reason, and he ended up rear-ending her, being thrown from his bike and hitting his back on the curb and breaking it. And he was like 19 at the time.
Shit.
Yeah, so it's messed up. Anyways, I got to head it out. I got to wrap up some stuff that I'm writing for a online course I'm putting together.
Oh, cool.
But
right.
we'll see you guys next time, and I'll make sure that I get something special put together for December. Looking forward to that.
Cool. Absolutely. We'll get a date down.
Awesome. Take it easy, guys.
Hell yeah.
Sure.
Nice seeing you, Drew. I don't think I've been on a broadcast with you before.
Yeah.
Oh, not yet, but we need to have you on for the D&D sometime.
Hell yeah, man. I love talking to you.
Absolutely.
Anytime, basically. I don't care what the excuse is.
Well, likewise. Take it easy, guys.
See you
Take it
later,
easy,
bro.
Drew. Good to see you again.
See you guys.
And then there were 3. Rawr.
She?
Aw, they're adorable. What the fuck's going on in the chat? Have you been monitoring the chat, Rob? I haven't really been.
Nah, I haven't
fucked
been
up.
paying attention to the chat holes.
The reason I'm usually facing to my right is I'm usually
Is that
monitoring.
your best profile side? You got
Well,
the-
that too.
Yeah,
That is unquestionably my best profile side. There's a reason I part my hair to the left now.
there you go. You got to get the best side. And hey,
Exactly.
you have to maximize your strengths, my friend.
Which are few and far between, but the ones that I have are nice.
Well, absolutely. You're talking with it now.
My
You
voice.
got half the chat fucking with boners.
Can I tell you? I joined a buddy's Among Us stream, and I'm pretty sure most people in the chat know what Among Us is.
Yes.
So I won't go into that. But the Sassid, one too many, says, "Why do I get a little moist when James speaks?"
I don't know.
I was. Let me
That's
tell you
funny.
guys, I have a Me Too moment. I was sexually harassed online. Can you believe this?
Holy shit! What was his name?
I was There were his and hers. There were his and hers. Oh,
That's
my buddy's
right.
Among Us stream. I immediately got, God damn, you have a sexy voice. I go play a game online. I play some Apex or play some Titanfall, and it happens. I just feel so upset. I've finally experienced what it's like to be the pain of being a woman.
No, you didn't. Shut up.
Having
Shut
people
up. Shut
compliment me online.
You loved it and you know it.
I just like they did.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all farce. It's all smoke show. What are you drinking there? Water?
Just water in this one, and then I ran out of rum in the cup I was drinking. I think I've also run out of coffee.
It's blasphemy. Can't have that.
Never.
No. So how you doing, Rob? What's up with you?
Not much, actually. I've just been working on videos.
Tell me about that. You have a new program, don't you?
Yeah, I've been learning DaVinci Resolve. It's
Never heard of it.
actually well, yeah. Ryan Stone, from what I understand, does a lot of his videos on DaVinci Resolve, and so that's the first time I'd kind of really heard about it. Was I'd caught him? I think it was in one of his Twitch chats. He was playing a video game, and I had asked him, like, what do you use to edit your videos in? Because normally I use Filmora.
Okay.
And he had mentioned DaVinci. And so that was kind of back of my head type of thing that it's like, I might need to take a look at that. And I had seen some other stuff online where people had used DaVinci. And so I was like, well, let me look into DaVinci, and found out that they have a free version and then they have their paid version, and the paid version's like $300. And I was like, whoa, I love you guys on YouTube, but I don't love you that fucking much.
Fuck you, DaVinci.
Yeah, no shit. I paid $50 for Filmora, and that gives me a lifetime license of updates because it just updated majorly. And so, but the free version, there's no limitations, there's no watermarks, nothing like that. There's just a couple of features that is the $300 version that you get, that you don't get in the free version. But otherwise, for everything I've been playing around with, it does everything I need it to do. And it's a lot more precise. There's been major motion pictures. I almost want to say one of the Lord of the Rings or something that was done on DaVinci, that they edited and put it together.
No shit.
Yeah. So DaVinci is way more precise with like color correction. It's definitely got some audio features that Filmora does not have. That's one of my biggest gripes is the audio end kind of sucks. And so a lot of stuff that I do, I'll throw my audio into Reaper or into something else and then throw it into Filmora after the fact, after I've processed the audio. Where DaVinci, you can do a lot of that stuff right inside it.
Yeah.
So there is a little bit of a learning curve with it. It's not as, once you've played around with one editor, they kind of, when it comes to the real basic stuff, they're all kind of the same. So it's not like I've had a huge learning curve other than their audio end. There's a lot more going on there. And the color correction stuff, there's a lot more going on there. But I've been playing around with that, and I kind of go back and forth between Filmora and between DaVinci. DaVinci has a thing called Fusion where you start getting into animated graphics and things like that. And they use things called nodes that I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing in this thing? Because that's foreign to me, that I'm like, wow, okay, here's something I have no idea what the hell's going on here.
That sounds like a blueprint system. That would
kind of, yeah, kind of is. It kind of is. And learning some of the real basics of it, because I've watched a bunch of tutorials, nodes and Fusion, it's not terribly complicated, but coming from basically a drag and drop interface where they don't really deal with nodes, and you don't have as much creativity in that sense. Like with Filmora, a lot of their effects and whatnot are pre-programmed, which is nice if you're good with that it's like, oh, I can do a dissolve or a fade and I don't have to think about it. where with DaVinci, you can get a lot more precise with it, a lot more technical with it. It's definitely a lot more hands-on in that respect, but you can make it sit up and bark like a dog. So I've been playing around with that. I actually made a, well, I'll tell you guys because I gave them to Nick, whether he wants to use them or not. But I created a couple little like teaser spots, little commercials for Punch Riot. And one of them's like a 30-second spot is all. It's real quick. But I'm actually incorporating that in my video that I'm currently working on that I'll release next Tuesday.
Cool.
So at the
You have to
beginning,
do a masculine geek one.
yeah, absolutely. And so, you know, I kind of showed it to Nick and, you know, got his take on it. He thought it was kind of cute. So it was like, fuck it, I'm going to use it.
Cool.
So mostly that's kind of what I've been doing. That and Teriyaki, my main girl, she just had her fucking wisdom teeth pulled out today.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and then she
Painful
went to
for a
work.
while.
Well, then she went to work, you know.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
All loopy and shit.
well, yeah, you know, she had a toothache for the last 2-3 days, and I guess yesterday it was at its absolute worst. That she couldn't even go into work, so she went to the dentist, and the dentist is like, yeah, your fucking wisdom teeth are impacting on your back molars. That's why you have a toothache. And we don't do anything about that. You need to see an oral surgeon. So she got an appointment with them, and they're like, great. We have 2 choices of anesthetic. We can do a general and knock you out, or we can do a local and you're still awake while everything goes down. And she's like, great, let's do a general. And they're like, great, who's coming to pick you up and drop you off? Nobody. Well, then we can't do a general. We have to do a local at that point. If we're releasing you and letting you go out on your own 2 feet, we cannot do a general. So she had a local where they just numbed the fuck out of her and then yanked those bitches out. And then she went home and then went to fucking work. I'm like, wow, you're a trooper. Because I remember having my wisdom teeth out, and it's like, yeah, they knocked me out. You know, I was out, and I was down for like 2 fucking days dealing with it. So it's like, you went to work. Wow, you're hardcore, girl. So that's been kind of the most recent, latest shit for me. It's mostly video editing and learning a new interface, because I do see a lot of potential with DaVinci. And then her with her toothache, and then she finally went in this morning and had her, you know, she thought she was getting 1 wisdom tooth pulled. Nope,
Both.
she got them all.
Surprise.
Yeah, she had 3 or 4 of them, because she had the 2 uppers,
shit.
and I think she had at least 1 lower.
Oh, damn.
And from what I understand, from what she was texting me while she was sitting in the chair, that they were like going to yank them all. So it's like, oh boy, this will be fun.
Yeah, sir. I might as well get it done all in one fell swoop.
Well, that's kind of how I
Fuck
looked
it.
at it too. It's like, you know, if you don't do it now, you're going to have to go back and get it done later. So fuck it. You might as well just be like, in for a penny, in for a pound. Let's get them all out.
How many times do you want to do this?
Yeah, exactly. Do you
It
want
depends on whether you like the pain or not, I suppose.
I guess, yeah. It's how often do you want to keep coming back? So from what I understand,
I wonder if you get a discount, like a you know, they only charge you for 3 if you get 4 pulled.
Yeah, exactly. You know, buy 3 and get 1 free or something.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
I think that would be good marketing.
Ah.
But anyway, so, and how about you, James? I know you do a lot of you're posting art like almost every day on Instagram.
Literally, well, I make them every day. I do them. Well,
Okay.
yeah, I make them every day. I try to post them every day, but occasionally,
Gotcha. So you're like Rain Man. You got to get it done. You're like,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, no. It's the everyday. A few years ago, I saw a picture online, and I said, "How did this person?" It listed the artist's name. I said, "How did this person make this? I need to know." And somebody immediately linked me to a talk by a gentleman by the name of Mike Winkleman, artist name Beeple, giving a
Okay.
talk about 30 minutes to an hour, somewhere in between there, about his Everydays project, where he said, every single day I go on Cinema 4D, I make a piece of art, I render it, and I put it up on social media to keep myself accountable to people. And I said, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. And at the time, I was really not artistic. I kind of like shoved that down. and I decided I pirated an edition of Cinema 4D. I eventually got a student version. The student license got out or ran out. I ended up purchasing a license for it, and yeah, I've been doing that for 5 years now. I think tonight's is 1,890.
Nice, because I see that you post a number next to it. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. That must be the number count.
Yeah, what was last night's? Was it 18?
I don't remember.
It was 1888 was last night's. It would have been Broken Wardbreaker.
All right. Throw it up in the share it out.
I pull it up here.
Share it out, say.
Meow.
He said,
Yeah, 1888, Broken Wardbreaker. In fact, I have Cinema 4D open in the background, but I have not started on tonight's. I can put this here. And I can put this in the chat. In fact, a few people, I think Red Crusader follows me on there. I know Nick follows me on there. Bacon, I also believe, follows me on there, if I'm correct. And yeah, it's just a daily project where I try to punch these out. I've been trying to put more effort into them over the past week, and I found some new tricks that I have eluded me for these past couple of years. So that's been a lot of fun because I've been working. Because here's the other one thing that I'll talk about. I guess I've been doing this week is I'm getting ready to launch Eyes of the Forest. I'm getting ready to launch a crowdfund for a fucking comic. All of the art for which is all done. And I've been bouncing back and forth with the artists, and we've been talking about reward tiers, getting merch for people, and making that available. And this is particularly exciting because I get to talk with them, and I get to say, hey, now we get to collaborate on the art. You know, they're making the tarot cards. I'm making the frames for the cards. I'm making the frames for the enamel pins and the t-shirts. And they're doing the art on the inside. And now we get to bounce back and forth in a new capacity.
Nice.
And I've been doing I'll do reference images for them. So then I've two artists, Star 2, there is their collective name, you could call them. And we'll bounce back and forth when we're talking about, can we pose this scene this way? Is it like, what exactly do you want? I'm like, I'm giving a bad description right now, but I could just hop into this motion graphics program, take one of the characters that I've rigged up, pose them how I want them, add some embellishments to help sell the image basically to the artists, and they'll go in and they'll do it, and they'll do a really good job of it. It's this weird process where they're the better artists, absolutely, but I get to influence their direction, and it's
Nothing wrong with that.
so much fun.
Cool. And when is that supposed to be released?
Eyes of the crowdfund will go live sometime next month, sometime in November.
Okay.
We got a little delayed because of COVID and stuff like that, and people were bouncing around and trying to avoid legal issues and stuff like that, and also trying to work. And
gotcha. Now keep us posted on that. Make sure you get me any information so we can plug your shit.
Absolutely.
That didn't sound right, but you know what I mean.
Oh, I'm adding Vince to the list.
shit.
Plug your shit, boy. That's right. Too funny. That's
My
cool.
scroll of 300 people. Jesus Christ.
There you go.
How you? So Rob, I saw posting pictures of his girl on Twitter, which was like, this is the flex I need on my timeline. This is the flex I need on my timeline.
There you
I
go.
gotta show receipts to the guys because otherwise they'll think I'm full of shit. So
You
Gotcha.
posted one where you were like over her, and I'm
He was like hovering
"Rob."
over top of her. Yeah.
no, I was actually laying on top of her. We were
Oh, lying on
fucking.
top of her. Okay.
Like, we were actually having sex, and I took a picture real quick while she was
This
looking
is
at me.
Renaissance art.
Yes.
There you go. You have to run that through one of those cartoon like filter things and just turn it into an oil painting.
Just like somebody developed an AI for it. I'm gonna ask one of my buddies on Twitter what it is, but somebody developed an AI where you take a photo and the AI will run through it about 3 times and attempt to basically recolorize it and run through a tracer, and they'll kind of like blur the outsides and make them a little bit messier. And it has no edge control, but Exactly. And it'll make it look like a painting.
Yep.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I may have to look into that because that was fun.
I will send you the link.
Sweet.
That will be perfect.
Sweet. Yeah. Well, I figured I've got 3 pictures of her up on Twitter now because the first one was me kind of poking fun at the semen retention guys, saying, "Well, you guys
Is
are all
that still going on, by the way?
I haven't been on enough to pay attention. I imagine the latest thing that I saw was more of the as a man and as a veteran and as a patriot and all that bullshit.
As somebody
where I did my no true post today, But
yeah, that was good.
I had a good time writing that. I was extremely unhappy at the time I wrote that one.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because I'd had enough. I was like, I'm fucking tired of guys shaming other guys that, as a man, go fuck yourself. That's what you need to do. Go fuck yourself.
And most of these guys are avatars.
Oh, they are. They're almost all avatars.
They don't show their face.
No,
you have
of course
no
not.
idea who they
And
are,
it's like,
what they're
content
about.
do you have? You have no content. You're not creating nothing. You're just fucking running your mouth on Twitter.
Exactly.
And so that's all you're doing. So, yeah, exactly. You're just being a goddamn thorn in my side. So shut the fuck up.
Mute, block.
Well, that's why I had to, write that last paragraph because I hope some of them guys see it and just go, oh,
Nice.
So yeah, Red Crusader. Right now, I'm not pulling really any samples. My music has taken not quite a back seat, but it's definitely sitting in the shotgun seat because the video editing has no shit, Amos. Because the video editing has become more of a high priority for me right at the moment. And so the music and all of that is still going. I'm still practicing learning this little keyboard MIDI controller thing. But the video editing is definitely at the forefront right now. So I want to get really sharp, real tight with my edits. So, which is kind of fun. I've watched a couple of my older videos, like from 2018, and watched and compared them to stuff I've released very recently, like within the last month. And it's like, wow, what a growth, that the video quality is better. The background music, if there was any in the past, there is now. The edits are a lot sharper and better. The microphone quality is better. Just everything is improved as I've gone along. I think even my ranting and raving has gotten better as I've gotten into this longer. So
you get into a flow of things. You get like you grow a voice over time.
You do. Well, you kind of figure out what you want to do and how you want to do it, and so that's what you do because here's your piece of red meat, guys. The stuff of why you show up in the chat. Here's your little nugget of wisdom. Whatever it is you do, whether you're doing visual art like James does, or you're doing videos like I'm doing, or you're doing a show like Vince and all of us are doing, or you're doing music like Red Crusader's doing, or whatever it is you're doing, you really want to learn how to get good at it. It's fucking repetition. It's just doing it over and over and over and over and over. And that's the one thing that a lot of these dipshits on Twitter don't ever talk about because there's no sexy in repetition. There's no wow, in repetition. All these assholes that go on and yammer about being a real man and semen retention and all this other bullshit that they talk about. The one thing that none of them mention, even the pickup artists, they mention it only in the sense that they keep going out and they keep approaching. And that is the key to anything. You want a key to life, guys, there's your fucking key to life. You got to keep doing it over and over and over, where you get one success, whether it's that one visual piece of art you created that just pops and everyone goes, oh my God. Or it's that one song where, man, you were in your groove and you hit at every note and you were on fire. But nobody wants to talk about the time that it took Red Crusader 153 tries, 153 takes to get there. Same with photography. When I've been doing that on and off throughout the years, I've got a few shots. A couple of them are hanging on my walls because they were that good. Vince saw 'em. I got a picture of a flower with a couple bumblebees hanging out on it. Okay. I've got another picture of a rock formation. Mexican hat is what it's called.
That's right in your hallway when you walk
Yes,
in, right?
yes.
Yeah. Well,
Just turned out phenomenal. Okay. I don't talk about the 3,500 other photos that were taken right around that photo that were either meh or they sucked or whatever, that they weren't, it wasn't enough to stop you in your tracks. And that's the reality. Okay. I think of all the takes I've done to make videos, the stuff that never made it to see the light of day, all that kind of stuff. It's all fucking repetition. You want to get good with girls, go out and talk to a whole bunch of girls over and over and over again. You want to get good at art, you got to keep painting, you got to keep drawing, you got to keep writing, you got to keep doing whatever it is, and realize that most of your stuff, while you may enjoy it, and you have to enjoy it, but most of your stuff ain't going to amount up to shit, really. But then there's going to be that one piece, that one picture, that one piece of music that, man, just stops everyone in their tracks. And then you're going to go, thanks, man. And you're going to keep right on going. And you're going to have 153 more pieces of shit. But that's how you get better at whatever it is you want to do. It's fucking repetition. So grind it out, guys. There's your hustle. There's your grind lesson for the day. So
I like it.
yes,
I
I was
like
about
it.
to say. Yeah. It's
And it rings true.
fantastic.
It rings true for experience. You
Yeah.
know, 99% of everything is crap.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, it's like a lot of the stuff that comes across social media, a lot of the things you read. You're like,
it's all fucking garbage.
did you actually go out and do something today, or did you sit behind your fucking keyboard all day?
That
Fuck.
one.
Exactly.
That's what they did. They sat behind their fucking keyboard all day. That's what
God
they
damn,
did. So
it's unbelievable.
yeah. Well, it's not though. That's the thing. That's
It's
the
unbelievable
pro-
the people that do things, because you're like,
Well, yeah.
how could you not be out living? Like,
right.
That's
Well, there you
for
go.
us.
It's called get off your keyboard and go get a life.
Mhm.
That's one of the things I love about technology, and I also hate about technology is we now have a platform where everybody has a voice, which is great in a lot of ways. You can
But
make
everyone has
music
a
and
voice.
video. Yeah, exactly. It's the ability to create videos or to create music or to create art is easier now than it's ever been. And with self-publishing and all that, you don't need to go and get a publisher or go to an art gallery or whatever. You can fucking do it all by yourself. And that's fantastic. But at the same time, man, the mediocre has fucking come to the top.
Yeah, it raises the bar on the good on the producing good stuff. So
Yeah,
you have a lot of competition.
Yep.
So
that's
indeed,
what it is. The signal to noise ratio is unreal, and it's weeding through the bullshit to get to the little nuggets where you're like, fuck, here's a good piece of art, or here's a good music, or here's something that somebody said that you're like, wow, someone actually went out and lived their life and figured something out and decided to share it, where usually it's guys jacking each other off. And it's just like, really? God damn it. So
pretty much.
Exactly.
pretty much.
Video games are a ton of fun.
Speaking of that,
The 4-hour napper and chronic masturbator.
Yeah, he
Hey
had
guys, you need to come out here to Wisconsin on like Saturday.
he gives us a week and a half. I'm
Yeah,
like,
something like that. Really? Thanks for
and
the
like
notice,
Halloween. No,
asshole.
I've got something. I already have something planned, and
So do I.
I'm like, I'm gonna be out of town, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
Week
Well,
and
like
a
I
half.
teased, I was like, yeah, I just got back from my DeLorean ride, and I was there, and it was great. It's like, really, dude, really, fucking.
Well, not only that, he's like, it's got an Airbnb out in the middle of nowhere. All right, first of all, that's creepy as fuck, and two,
I didn't pay attention to that part, dude.
Yeah,
We definitely don't want to
like-
go. He's probably gonna murder us or something.
yeah, or do something else, you disgusting fuck. gonna wake up with your pants unbuttoned.
Yeah,
You're gonna-
pants unbuttoned and around your
Pants
knees.
unbuttoned. So I'm thinking to myself, all right, do we have to rent cars to get from like some kind of remote airport to get to your remote Airbnb?
Oh, you know that's the case. You know he's
You
not going to come. and
fucking
get us.
dick.
He's going to meet up with us on his motorcycle and be like, "Hey guys, glad you could make it.
Yeah,
Couldn't
follow
pick
me
you up
in.
'cause, yeah, because I showed up on my bike."
$120 Uber ride.
Yeah,
If
no
you want to
shit.
rent a sidecar, you can go to the.
There, exactly.
One
That
of
I
these
would
days,
probably.
what I'll do is I will
would-
worm my way into his DMs, and I
There
will
you go.
eventually get him to hit me up. But I can do most of my work online, so I will come out there, and I will drag him up and down every other mountain that's around his place. Because I've also heard him complain. I'll occasionally watch his stuff when I have the opportunity and stuff like that. I've heard him complain about like all the people his age are too old or too busy to go up and down a mountain and stuff like that who are around him. And then all the young guys are too lazy or whatever, or they're just unfit and they can't do it. I'm like, okay, or maybe I'll drag him out to like Maine or something like that. Drag him up Katahdin.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to tell you right now,
Fuck
Jim. You got a great fantasy going on here. I love it. Okay?
All right,
It's
that's
just
not
fantasy.
happening.
Okay, because
Fuck
here's
it.
why. Okay, I'm going to tell you a little story. It's gather around, children. It's fucking story time. All right. So Aaron Clary hits us up, me, Vince, TJ, about a year and change, 2 years ago almost, when we very first started Masculine Geek. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm down here in Vegas and I'm lonely and I need someone to come hang out with me. And
This is
so
good.
it's an open invitation for you guys. You should come out."
Yeah.
So I decided to take him up on his offer. So I start looking into, okay, you're going to be, in Vegas during this time frame. Okay. Well, unlike him, I have a day job. I don't have unlimited time that I can just disappear. It's like, no, I got to get time off. So I
But
started.
you were going to
looking
make the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
through
sat
the
down. I thought, okay, this week here, I could make this work. Nobody else is off. It's kind of a slow period for my job. This could work. So I hit him up. I'm like, "So, hey, I'm thinking of coming out during this time. Would that work?" Well, and he starts doing that shit. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And the next thing I know, he's driving around in Arizona during that time, doing some kind of random road trip of some sort. And then the son of a bitch comes back later to, "You guys, I'm lonely. No one ever comes and sees me." And I'm like, "You motherfucker, I tried." And you started, doing that shit to me. So yeah, dude, go fuck yourself. It ain't happening.
Half of the stuff Aaron says, it's like he's going to forget like a week later. So I like,
Dude, he's
yeah,
going to forget in a day, not
Yeah.
even a
It's
week.
too funny.
So
Athens in the chat.
that's where I'm saying, James, it's a nice fantasy. You dragging Aaron around through the mountains or something like that. Dude, he'll be like, "Oh, yeah, let's do something, man." And then he's going to fucking wander off and, ooh, shiny. He's squirrels. You
Yeah,
know?
pretty much. Well, then
See,
he
I know how to deal with people like that because I
well,
used
just
to be
ignore
one-
them.
That's pretty much what I do.
Oh, that's one way of doing it. You know
Yeah.
what?
Just go with that. You know what? There's no investment on your part. Just like, I'm going to ignore that fuck. There we go. You're done.
Yeah,
Just
that's
wash
it.
your
That's all you
hands.
gotta
You're
do.
finished.
Yep.
Now, Rob, he stayed at your place, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Okay, that's what I thought.
He did, and I felt like the whore that got turned out without a towel or a kiss when he left.
Jesus.
It's like he showed up, he hung out,
You're
he
bleeding.
took me to dinner, and then he wanted to be the tough guy because he's got cat allergies, and it was driving him nuts because I have 2 cats, and he knew that. And it's like, dude, I have allergy meds, the non-drowsy kind.
That's what I took.
Yeah. And what does he do? "Oh, no, I'm good. Well, by the second day, he's like, "Yeah, man, I gotta go. I can't deal with this." And it's like, well, fine, fuck off then. We'll see you. And so that was that. And that's where it's like, okay, well, I feel like I was just an Airbnb for free. All right.
There you go.
I
That
got
son
you.
of a bitch.
Yeah, I got you. I see how it is.
God damn it, Clary.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Oh, here you
James,
go. Atham knows.
Atham does know.
Yeah. No one hangs out with me. Atham, let's hang out. Aaron, I am busy. God damn it.
yeah, there you have it.
Yep.
That's pretty
Okay.
much what it is.
So,
yeah.
so James, it's a nice fantasy you have there. I like it, but
Well, that's the
I'm
thing.
gonna-
I used to do that. Like my buddy, it wasn't until here's when I stopped. My buddy Jake says, "Hey, let's go to Top Golf and stuff like that." I'm like, "Well, I've never, I've only hit a chip and putt, and it's a long drive out there to Mount Laurel, and I might be doing something like." He says, "Dude, come out to Top Golf," and I was like, "He's like, what are you?" He just called me out on it basically and said, "Why are you resisting this?" And I was like, "Oh, why am I resisting this?" And once he made it clear that he was not going to take no for an answer, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, we're going to go out to Top Golf. Had a great time,
Top golf is fun. Yeah,
Mhm,
right?
yeah,
mhm.
I love
And
it.
dude,
You
had a
get
fantastic
food, drink. You can smack balls around. There you go.
which is the best
Smacking
way
balls.
of phrasing it.
That's what you're doing. You're smacking
Which
balls.
is the best way of phrasing
The
it.
crack of that club on your ball as you come whipping around is fucking amazing.
Oh my
Smack your ball. Let's smack some balls.
Let's go
Smack-
smack some balls.
Smack,
at Top
smack
Golf.
some balls. On
Yeah.
that note, Jesus Christ.
Just got to
Actually,
drag
we are going to be wrapping up soon because Rob and I are fucking tired.
Yeah,
We
I got a
worked-
big day tomorrow, so
Yeah, so we're gonna call here. Is there anything you guys want to just say before you head out?
don't take any wooden nickels, guys, and
That's right.
repetition.
Repetition. Smack some balls. Don't make any plans with Aaron Clary.
Yeah, no
And,
shit. Yeah. If he hits you up to
Especially
say
if-
I'm lonely,
Or
just
especially if he
act
asks you to come out to like some kind of secret remote Airbnb. Just don't.
you're
I
probably
decline.
gonna wake up with your pants around your
Your-
knees.
Your
and-
pants will be unbuttoned, and it's not the kind of balls you want to smack. Let's put it that way.
He'll probably drug you or something. Yeah, you'll wake up with your asshole hurting and a hangover. Just don't.
And Amos with the $4.99 super chat. Yes, indeed. Next event, Village by the Balls. Well, I mean, if you're sitting home alone and navel gazing, you have your own Village by the Balls. So you get your own personal Village by the Balls.
Oh man, that
there
you
you
know
go.
what? We need to actually do one and call
We'll
it
do that. We'll call it Village by the fucking
Ode to
balls.
Amos, Village by the fucking balls.
Credit where credit's due. That's Amos. You may or may not want us to like make broadcast that, but there you go. You essentially paid for this.
Oh
So,
shit!
Village
I
by the
love it.
balls. Yeah.
Village by the balls.
And in one of those times, we will actually go smack balls. We'll go to Top Golf. We'll have a
We'll
Masculine Geek meet up at Top Golf. There we go. So on that note, we're going to take us out. Rob, take us out. Where can we find you?
RobSays.net.
Fantastic. I love it. That was brief. James, how about yourself?
AstroCreativity.com, and you could search the same thing on Twitter.
There you go. And you can find me on masculinegeek.com and more importantly on masculinegeek.life. Go sign up, you fucking pudwax. There you go. All right. So until the next time, keep the fires burning, keep the lead flying down range, and we will see you all next week.